Welcome everyone back to another episode of Q&A with Sharon's son George. I was my mother's caregiver after she was diagnosed with Parkinson's disease. Sadly, she passed on 1/1/2020, but we started Together for Sharon.com in her memory and to advocate for a cure for all those still battling PD today and their families, because no one is ever alone in this fight for a cure. Today's guests are someone and some people now that I hold very close to my heart. I consider them family, and I hope they do after this show. I know we'll definitely reveal some important things, but we do ask everyone listening to share this, because the only way I feel we'll come closer to a cure is through all of you and your support. So I wanted to welcome Steve and his incredible wife, Kelli, to the show. Not every day we have caregivers together with someone diagnosed, and that really is beautiful. I wish I could have had my mother on the show, but we didn't have that technology then. But I feel we have to be, again, a team and also a family in this fight for a cure. So welcome. It's really just an honor to have both of you here today with us.
Thank you for having us.
Hey, George.
Maybe we could start off by if you two ladies first. Sorry, Steve, but can tell us a little bit about yourself.
Just
Well,
introduce me.
Yeah.
Kelli.
I'm Kelli Squires. I'm Steve's wife of almost 28 years.
Wow.
So Steve was diagnosed when he was 24, and we were, I still say, kind of freshly married 2 years. And we had just had our son. So he was 3 months old when Steve was diagnosed.
Oh, I'm a little late, but congratulations to both of you on the marriage, not the and the babies. What about you, Steve?
I'm Steve Squires. Like my wife said, I've been diagnosed for half my life. I'm now 49. Uh, I have been working with the Michael J. Fox Foundation since 2016, when Kelli ran her first half marathon for them, and we've been advocates for Parkinson's research through Michael J. Fox Foundation and also the Parkinson's Foundation, the national one. I'm also very active bowler and bicyclist. I just started riding a trike this past year, and that's been a big life changer. That's about it.
That's a lot, though, and it's amazing. Again, you inspire me, and I believe so many, because you're still out there fighting and all the things that you do behind the scenes. And we work on something, a lot of things, but right now something big, and just an honor to have you by my side as I also advocate by yours. Maybe Kelli, I know you can't say the whole show, but you could take us through a little bit of, what it's like to not just care for Steve, but also support him, because I know sometimes I don't know about you, might be like me, but with my mother, we didn't really know what Parkinson's was, what it would do, how quickly she would progress. I still am in shock 5 years later, not understanding, what happened. But I know when I had that time, I wanted to be there for her and with her 24/7, because she only felt comfortable when I was by her side. But then again, kind of sacrificed my own health. And even today, as an advocate, I continue to do that, because I think of Steve often and everyone listening out there battling and can't really allow this to continue. So that's why I, do this. So I was just curious, you could take everyone through what it's like being a caretaker or care partner. I believe we're all caregivers, but I've had emails about all these care. I think as long as we all care, that's all that matters.
Yeah. Steve was so young when he was diagnosed, we had no clue what Parkinson's even was. And so I didn't know what my role was. And he wasn't really struggling a lot. I would say probably the first 10 years.
Yeah.
He did okay. It really has been more this last 10 years with his balance and just mobility in general when he has off periods, just for me to be able to try to help him, which he's very stubborn at because he still wants to do it himself. um I don't I don't think I do a lot. It's just kind of being there for him to vent to. If he needs help, I will definitely help him. You know, he doesn't need any help being fed. He may need help cutting his meat, but that's easy. And just at night when he is having some down time, some off periods, just trying to help him, get places safely, I guess. He can't drive in the evening anymore, so I do the driving, which has saved our marriage.
I jokingly told her that when we got married, and we said for better, for worse, for richer, for poorer, in sickness and health. She kind of got screwed on that deal.
Nice. Well, that's the thing. We've had this is actually almost episode 200 somehow in only 4 months, 3 months. But one thing we've seen reoccurring is that even though it's a tough disease, obviously, the relationships and the things that or people have gained from it is just incredible. And oddly, some even mention, I won't say names, that they're glad to have it, which I don't know if I'll 100% agree, but because of like, again, we're always honest here, but Steve has become like my brother. And every time I'm tired or worked all day, I decide that it doesn't matter what I'm going through, because until you don't have to struggle anymore, I'll keep fighting. Some of you also know, even from anesthesia, waking up in the hospital, I do that. And it's important to me. But Steve, on the other side, what is it like, to have somebody so amazing and loving support you? We have a question towards the end, which we don't need now. And I always say, this is a kind of different show where we stop for a moment, literally, and we don't just focus on the guests, but also we want to thank those in your life who support you, because you wouldn't be able to, I think, advocate and be so incredible and inspiring if it wasn't for the support of all of those around us. So what's it like, to have somebody like that?
I'm truly blessed. I mean, there are a lot of people that would have bailed out early on in the situation. They would have just given up. And my wife's a tremendously strong lady. She's amazing. Uh, I couldn't do it without her. And it's just bottom line.
I
She's
appreciate it.
always there for me. She's sorry, getting a little misty eyed, but uh,
Yeah, this show has become a both Barbara Walters and Oprah show. For some reason, some people,
yeah.
so it's real life, and I appreciate the honesty, and that's, the goal today is awareness, but we definitely want to also send our love to both of you and everybody listening, because again, this is not a topic that's always easy. So thanks also for being honest and sharing that. I did want to share a few things, and I know, again, I could keep Kelly for 10 hours and she won't want to be my friend, but I did want to start here and thank you both for this amazing interview. And it's incredible how quickly time goes, and you can see the support you have done so many different areas. I think we have too much in common. I confess I'm probably a lifelong bowler. I don't do it now because of my shoulder surgery, but had a 175, believe, average when I was growing up. And my mother used to drag me by hair when I was young. I had a lot. She would drag me out of the bed on Sunday to go to the bowling league. So I do thank her for that. And I had a ball, I had shoes, and I'm proud to say my ball would spin, which is pretty cool. Today I probably wouldn't even hit a pin, but it's that and the trike. So I only can drive a trike because never learned how to ride a bike, and now due, unfortunately, to back issues, which everyone probably is tired of hearing, I can't do much at all except the trike. So whenever my wife and I go on trikes, I take a picture, but I always tag you, Steve, because thing I wish we could, those things are so heavy. It's a shame you can't pack them up in the car and meet up. Someday I hope we'll be riding trike somewhere together.
Yeah. Well, we were talking about moving to Florida at some point.
That would be beautiful, and you'll definitely won't regret it. Right now, I don't want to say much because I had a friend text me today, and they can't take the snow anymore in New York. And then I just looked out in Florida, and I didn't respond. I didn't want them to be upset at me, but I do want everyone to encourage you to go again, totally free. And we don't want anything here but a cure. To go to togetherforsharon.com, click interviews, and you can see a lot more in depth that Steve and his incredible wife Kelly have done with Team Fox, and so many more. Also, we do a lot of research on the show lately. Steve is doing a lot of research with me, but for other areas. But this was a great interview I found on the Parkinson's Foundation, another great organization. And you could maybe, if you want to touch a little bit about your experience with not just Team Fox, but Michael J. Fox, but how supportive so many organizations are out there or might be for you during your journey.
Um, it's amazing the support we receive from numerous foundations for what we've done, and we've raised $100,000, over $100,000 for Team Fox in the past 7 years.
Yeah, I believe.
We had 2 years off due to COVID, but we've done numerous bowling events, and we've also done some other stuff with Team Fox. Primarily, the bowling events have been the big one. We used to run an annual tournament. We're talking about doing it this year, but we're not entirely sure because we got a lot going on with TerraTrike. We're going to be doing a ride this weekend with them, and we also have some other things in the works. As you know, one thing we can't really discuss right now, but they'll be exciting for when that actually happens. I don't know if you want to elaborate on that or not, George, but
Yeah, I mean, maybe I have a feeling there'll be a really big, large Zoom about it in the future. I hope we can hold that many people. But yeah, there's a lot of things that, again, trikes, bowling, fitness, and so many sports around the world. I don't think people are aware that that can actually slow the progression, or even sadly, some like we think football could actually speed up the progression. And I just thought of this idea about doing more with sports because sports has been my life, but my mother didn't really participate a lot in the sports, but the one major thing is if you don't like bicycles, then guess what? There's trikes. There's other things out there that again I don't really think people even know about. We're trying to get a new trike right now, the lay down type, but it's impossible to find one. So, just keep your ears and eyes out, everyone, because not only are we working on some beautiful things, but never give up because there are other things. And now with virtual, you can join Steve and Kelly and support their cause and Team Fox on their events virtually. So now it's just a different world. You don't have to worry about, flying somewhere or this or that. You can actually join, support, and donate. Even a dollar goes a long way. So we appreciate that. This was another beautiful interview. I'll play for a moment, but
No, I think when I pulled up, I think I could still smell the manure on my tires.
yeah, vendors, that's the one thing. Vendors are a must.
Fenders are must in Amish country. All right, we'll go with that one for sure.
Yeah, so that's one definitely enhancement that you want to consider.
So we'll share this with everyone so you can also look, but you can see that Steve is available for shows anytime, and we'll definitely make you laugh, smile, and sometimes, unfortunately, even cry. But very important, I think, everyone to share this to see what inspiring work you're both doing, and to also really never stop fighting because that's the goal. If we all kind of moved on, people sometimes ask me, why are you doing this? You can't, unfortunately, bring your mother back, move on, but I decided that I don't want anyone to go through what our family has. And I felt alone as a caregiver. And my mother had Parkinson's for 15 years, but we didn't even know it was a disease for 7 because either she wasn't sure, she didn't know what the diagnosis was, or just didn't want to burden the family, which I wish she did. So I heard of Parkinson. I didn't even know anything more until those last 4 years when it really kind of just took over everybody's life. So now we get to a fun part of the show, which I always say the whole show is fun, but I don't know why I say just this part. But this is where we get to some lighter questions. And I know, again, Kelly, feel free to stay with us as we love you. But if you have to take off, we will be thinking about you too. But if you could list 3 words that describe who you are, it could be, you can multiply, you could take 1, Steve, and 2, Kelly, or 2. You all decide.
Motivated would be one.
That's a great one.
Definitely motivated to try to cure for this disease. It's not what I wanted in my life, but what I have, and I'm just going to deal with it day by day and fight on as much as I can.
And what about you, Kelly? How about one word that might describe who you are?
I don't know if it describes me, but I'm inspired because of how he pushes every day. He still goes to work. He still tints windows and cuts a straight line. How, I'll never know. But he just inspires me.
Yeah, and that's one area, I don't know if you want, but we allow plugs on the show for free. So maybe if anyone needs, I wish you were here. We have 2 cars that we just did, but we would have stayed with you all. But I do encourage everyone, if you're in the area, to look up Steve and Kelly and use them over everyone else. We do discriminate here for the Parkinson's community. And if I could help in any way and add the website that you're doing now to this show, we will. But if you need tinting, I feel like we're in one of the Don't Call Saul shows where if you need tinting now, please call Steve and Kelly. But anyway, we can help you both. And also, I wish we could find a way. And one thing I tried to do on our website is, put up links to businesses for others. We don't want a penny, and we want people to call you directly and make some money to pay for medicines and things. Because I don't think anyone in the United States who's going through this battle of Parkinson's should ever have to pay for medicine ever. So feel free if you want to plug the company, or I know you had a tougher time the other day and that made me kind of angry as an attorney and working on another book, which you might not be aware of, on the laws and Parkinson's disease. A lot of people aren't aware of the protections and the laws that are out there for people with Parkinson's.
And probably the third word, energetic, maybe would be the third word. We both have the energy to fight this, and we're gonna continue to do so as long as we can.
I
We
appreciate it.
put a lot of energy into what we're doing and what you and I are doing, George, and we've got virtual ride coming up this weekend, which we're doing for the Parkinson's Foundation in Grand Rapids. And that's gonna take some energy, and we're just gonna keep plugging away.
Yep, that's one of the best attitudes I know, because as long as you do that, I will too. This is an interesting question, at least I think, because I created it. But is there one moment or most memorable moment that you both have that stands out through most of your work with awareness so far? So that one moment, even when, besides wedding day and when you're having the babies, but this is more geared, of course, to Parkinson's awareness.
Probably when there's actually probably two. The first one is when I saw my wife run the half marathon for Team Fox.
Oh.
That was she did it in 102-degree
Well,
temperatures, and it was like heat index of 120. People were passing out. I was at the end of the race line wondering where she's at, and I didn't know that she'd actually gone back to help another gal with who was running for Team Fox at the time that was having trouble and struggling, and I was at the finish line panicking because I see people they're taking quad runners and golf carts and stuff and running out and grabbing people that are just passed out on the raceway. And when I saw her come around with the gal from Team Fox, it was just very emotional because she not only did she do the race, but she went back and helped somebody who was in need. And the second one would probably be when we hit the $100,000 mark for raising funds for Michael J. Fox Foundation. That was pretty incredible itself. And those are probably the two things that stick out of my mind. What about you?
I think the biggest thing that sticks out for me is when we do have our events, every single one of our friends shows up and they do not hesitate to help or donate or just hang out with us so we don't get lonely, which we don't, but it really just goes to show you who your friends are and that they will do just as much for you as you would them. So
I love to hear that. Unfortunately, I've said on the show before, but my mother's best friends, lifelong, like 20, 30 years, all completely vanished the last year. I don't know, if it was because of what, her condition or what, but that's when you do think that your friends will be there even more. So that's what I love to hear is your story and what, and we send a love, support, and thanks to those that also attend the events and support you. We'll have to zoom into one of your events. And we have another show. I don't know if I talked to Steve. It's called Virtual, or Sharon's son George Virtually on the Road, and we zoom in around the world to live events, and it's just for 10 minutes, but it's pretty cool because people like the show, I think, but they also love to see everyone in action. So, except Steve has to promise to wear his bowling shoes. One thing that's very important to me, and I know both of you, and we do it every day. We live it, breathe it. But how do you think we can, better promote Parkinson's awareness, but also reach people who do not have Parkinson's and people who are not aware, because I think that's the only way we'll really come closer to researching a cure, is getting everybody involved.
I think for our standpoint, it's always been hard because as far as any local support groups, he was so young when he was diagnosed, and it's nothing against age, but he didn't want to go into a room with people who were 75 and older dealing with Parkinson's. He wanted people his own age. And I think just promoting support groups for younger people and for caregivers, because there is nothing, at least in our area, that does that. And I think that would get the word out, and I think it would get it out even just directly through neurologists.
Thanks. Yeah, I mean, that's a big talk we have here on the show a lot about age and young onset. 24 is really young. Obviously, people are aware of Mr. Fox. Michael J. Fox had it in his 30s, I believe. But we've had so many individuals, females, males, from around the world now that are gaining less access to information, which is sad, but being diagnosed earlier and earlier. And big problem is access to it, even neurologists. We had a young woman on from the Netherlands, I believe, and took her 2.5 or 3 hours to find a doctor. And just that's, not fair. There's a lot more. We need to also have the conversation because, we need more people to get rid of those misconceptions that it's only the elderly man disease. It's not anymore. And as we know, I think there's more than 1.2 million people in the United States. Some reason someone had that 1 million, but it has to be much more than that. And it's the fastest growing neurological disorder in the world. So we need to do something drastically different, and we need everybody on board for that. This is a question that I usually shouldn't ask because I know the answer, but I still like to ask it. But if you could have one wish granted, what would that be?
Back here.
Cure.
All right, except for that, on top. In addition, so now you have 2 grand. It was like Aladdin. We're giving you 3, but we'll just ask for one more.
Go ahead.
The cure, I would say knowledge.
Okay.
People need to know more about the disease. There's a lot of variables that, like, we don't really know what caused mine. We were guessing that it was possibly working with airbags that had deployed. I was in the automotive field for about 3.5 years, and I was changing airbags, which have a byproduct that powder form that is actually packed into the bags, the first generation airbags. And when they deploy, it actually deploys a poisonous powder. And I had a mask and gloves on and stuff, but the powder still gets in your eyes and in your ears and every place else because when it explodes, it just creates a big mess. I would say definitely knowledge to figure out what's causing this, whether it's environmental or hereditary or what actually is going on.
Well, appreciate you bringing that up because that's why I do this show. I learn something new every day, and I think it's important to talk about these areas. I do feel it's an environmental disease. My mother had a nice home, but for over 20 years, she had mold, she had termites, and we had people spraying and doing things. And now most places in Florida you're not allowed inside homes anymore, literally with bug spray. They actually only spray out externally, and even that's probably still dangerous. But very fascinating, saddening, and interesting that that's possibly a law, but how 10 years difference now all of a sudden there's a reason, they don't go in the house, and that should have been something, they had figured out 100 years ago. Uh, there's a fun one that I usually just ask one person, but now we have both of you. So let's imagine we went in a time machine and went back into time, and not back to the future because that's, but back in time. And what would both of you say to each other 10 years ago to your younger selves about life? And
Good question.
thanks.
I'd probably tell my future self to be prepared. Prepare for the best and the worst. I mean, there's the best thing that came out of this disease is we met a lot of wonderful people such as yourself. And if I wouldn't have got the disease, I wouldn't have met this great family of people that we now have. The worst is having the disease. they have a double-edged sword.
Thank you.
I would just say, enjoy every moment while you're young, and even when you're old. Do what you can do and don't stop doing it.
Thanks. I always say we need a t-shirt for the next event you have that says exactly what you just said, Kel. Picture right now. This one is also one I think you'll enjoy. We got to get some fun in the show. But if you were asked to write a script to a movie about both of your life stories, what would you call it, and what actress and actor would play your roles? You'll never
I
get this.
call it chaos.
And what
I
actor?
don't know who I'd get.
And do you agree, Steve? Or we're taking the fifth one on?
And not just because of him, it's the
Right.
whole, the job, everything.
But
Hey.
yes, is a good term. I don't know, probably something having to do with a wild ride, because this is just nothing we expected, and it's something unique every day.
Yeah, chaos sometimes could be good. That's what they say, like, because it keeps you going. So maybe a
Yeah.
little, maybe we'll call it a little less. And what about an actor, Steve? Come on, let's go.
Actor,
I see some Denzel Washington in you.
God, it was everybody loved Raymond's brother.
oh,
Brad Garrett. Brad Garrett for him.
uh,
He even has the personality.
Nice. If you both had a theme song to your life story, what would the song be?
Oh, Highway to Hell.
Nice. I don't think you can follow that.
lots of words there.
Well, here's a good one to kind of wrap up in a bit, but both of you really, who are your heroes and inspiration?
Mine is you.
Oh,
For the disease, it's probably Michael J. Fox, of course, because of all he's been through and all he's done for being an advocate for the disease. My my life, I mean, for caring and loving, it's got to be my wife.
Oh,
She's stuck by me this whole time, and that's just, it takes a lot of a person to be able to do that. Some people are not designed to be caregivers. And some people get thrown into it without choice, and that's kind of how she was. She was thrown into this whole ordeal without choice. She had no say in it, and she could easily bailed out, and she didn't. So that's
well, you two are my heroes, and so is everyone listening, because it's the only reason I keep doing this. Because even though I have tough days and things happening, whether it's life, family, or the country, and I look up and sometimes to all of you listening and to you too, and realize that there's a lot more work to be done. So thank you both. I do have one last question, and I never say the end because this I feel it needs to be continued, and that we have to continue to share this. I'm not like every show, and no offense to the other shows out there, but I do share this multiple times and couldn't continue because until there's a cure, we need to continue this discussion. But if you were asked to leave the Parkinson's community today with some words of encouragement, what would they be?
keep moving. If you stop moving, you'll stop moving. That's been my motto for all these years. And keep doing what you're doing. If you give up, you'll end up just a sedentary lifestyle is not the way to be. Uh,
I would say keep moving and hang in there and just enjoy your time. Whether you have Parkinson's, any other disease, or nothing, enjoy life.
Well, thank you. Yep. Steve, you had.
the other thing I say is honestly, don't listen to your doctors, but the doctors told me I was gonna be in a wheelchair in 10 years, and I'm 24 years in now. So I basically showed them up.
Not in a wheelchair for sure.
Yeah.
I know
There's a lot of negativity about the disease, and if you fight it, you'll definitely come out ahead. But don't give up.
Thanks. Yeah, I mean, I know you'll be with me for 40 more years because you have to hear about my back problems and I got to hear about all the events that we're still going to be doing. Or what I'd rather for all of us is to find the cure, very soon. And then end some of these. We'll still have a show, but we'll call it the bowling show if that's okay with you.
Oh,
We might
Lord, I'm out.
we might not have any viewers, but it'd still be fun. That's why we do this, nothing else. So I do have one last message for now, again, to be continued for both of you and for everyone listening. We love you, we support you, we care a lot about you, and you're never alone. I, along with this incredible family here, will advocate for you, and together our voices, I feel, are so much stronger. And I always kind of end the show with just saying I'm just getting started, because as I said earlier, no matter what my struggles are, I mean, this Wednesday, everyone here knows my honest is I'm going to speak about a backcourt simulator, which is not really what I was planning to do on Wednesday morning. And then, but no matter what, from the doctor's office, from the hospital, from wherever I am, I'll grab my phone and keep advocating for a cure for Parkinson's disease, because to me, that's more important. And that's something that I've set my life goal as before my time is up. So we have a lot of work to do, everyone, but with everyone together as a family in this fight, I feel we're going to get it done. But I did want to thank both of you again for not only your time today, but in the past and in the future. Just such an honor to know individuals like yourselves, but also, like I say, and I'll say it 100 times, consider you family. So thank you both.
Thank you, George.
Thank you.
We really appreciate everything you're doing too for the Parkinson's community. On behalf of your mother, as you do amazing work, the books you're putting out, the podcast, the webinars, everything you're doing we really appreciate it.
Thanks. Well, Steve has also will announce seeing the inside of my life a little bit just the last week and how much we do spend time, which interesting. No one, we don't care if people know, but it's hard to see on a 20, 30-minute show, whether there a lot of them or not, but behind the scenes is really where the magic and the hard work is done. But, it's very important to keep this going. And again, grateful for your time. And again, everyone, please share this, please support both Kelli and Steve on the next event this weekend and also all their events, because they're doing special work for all of you as well, not just for themselves. And that's something that words really can't explain. So thank you both again. And also thank you all for listening. This has been another episode of Q&A with Sharon, St. George. But like I always say, till there's a cure at everybody's doorsteps around the world, we still have work to do. So at this minute, I'm going to get back to it. So thanks, everyone. Thank you again, Kelli and Steve. Sending our love to everybody. Thanks again. We'll see you soon.
Thank you.